We may have accidentally sent thousands of Earth's hardiest species to the surface of the moon. This is what they look like. I mean, this is the stuff of your nightmares. Can you imagine sending a human colony to the moon and having these things somehow mysteriously growing into humongous, huge monster size things? Now, this is it. How did this happen? Israelis failed lunar landing Bereshit that took place earlier this year. A squashed opportunity was represented that would have made the nation the fourth to successfully land on our moon. And the first to do so was privately funded spacecraft. It contained on the lunar lander a 100-gram nanotechnology device compiled by the Arch Mission Foundation. It's a non-profit organization and self-proclaimed humanity's backup plan to archive knowledge and species of Earth for future generations. This is by Madison Debsevich on IFL Science. So why was this done on purpose or was it an accident? According to the organization's white paper, the Arch Lunar Library, designed to preserve the records of our civilization for up to billions of years, but that dream soon squashed when their landing failed. Now, a new analysis of the lander's trajectory and satellite images suggests that the library contents remain intact on the surface of the moon. It's contained in its 25 layers of nickel enough DNA to regenerate life on Earth. I mean, can you imagine? How did they do that? In the form of 100 million human cells from 25 different humans now preserved in artificial amber. Who are these people? Now, they say, but this is only the beginning of the story. There is, in fact, much more in the Lunar Library. This will be revealed in coming months and years. This is what Arch Mission wrote in the news release. Why will it be revealed in coming months and years? And did they have the authority to put these things on the moon? I mean, this is frightening. Among those surprises are a few thousand dehydrated tardigrades, or water bears, that in theory could be revived. These 8-legged microanimals found across our Earth and are nearly indestructible, surviving some of the most extreme conditions, including temperatures between minus 272 degrees Celsius and up to 150 degrees Celsius. As we know, 100 degrees Celsius is boiling point for water. Small and segmented, they're 1 millimeter long, they're water bears, and they're also extremely resilient to radiation, and they can survive without water for 10 years. Some experts speculate that tardigrades could outlive us all and survive until the end of the Earth. The European Space Agency in 2007 sent 3,000 of these microanimals into low Earth orbit, and they survived for 12 days outside of the capsule. Nova Spavage tweets, "It is not likely that cells can survive the moon without a lot of more protection from radiation. However, the human cells, plant cells, and microorganisms we sent could be recovered, studied, and their DNA extracted, perhaps to be cloned and regenerated far in the future." Some are sealed in epoxy of the Lunar Library with human, plant, and microorganism cells, but others are encapsulated in a sticky side of a 1 centimeter square tape, regardless of their disc-bound location. Arch Mission founder Nova Spivak says that the tardigrades cannot reproduce on the moon. All right? They cannot reproduce on the moon. That's good. Now, the Arch Mission Foundation says that it's mindful of planetary protection, which means that it would not send anything to a location with an atmosphere, quote unquote. It notes that what's already on the moon is already home to nearly 100 bags of human waste left by Apollo astronauts, as well as a small plant that was left there by China. Okay. So, that's the story. They could go back and find them. We'll see what happens. And in a couple of months or years, they'll tell us what else they've left on the moon. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.